afternoon, everyone. I'm Spogile Kumalo from Bridge, and I'll be talking to you today about the competencies for school principals. We did a lot of research to develop these competencies, and I also want to show you the ways in which we've used them in the work that Bridge does. So just to give you a little bit of background, Bridge was employed by the Matthew Goniwe School of Leadership and Governance, and in partnership with Professor Anne McLellan, who I'm sure many of you know from the Wits School of Governance, we were tasked with looking at competencies for school principals. And this was done at a time when everybody was talking about it. You heard this morning from Mr. Ndlebe about the standards for South African principalship, and this is part of the conversation that's been ongoing about what principals need to know to be school principals. Okay. So there were various stages to this research, but ultimately we had to come up with 4 domains that govern the way that we work with principals. And these 4 domains described different competencies in each of the domains. Okay. We will do this and illustrate these competencies using yoga. Here comes an untrained principal. So the first domain is governance, strategy, and planning. And we will demonstrate this domain using a simple yoga pose called the cactus pose. And our untrained principal here, David, will attempt this pose. The competencies for this domain include strategic thinking, planning, problem solving, decision making, and exhibiting transformational leadership. And with these skills, a principal will be able to plan ahead for their school and shape the future of their school. So the second domain is managing people, teams, and stakeholders. We will demonstrate this domain using the pose, the Warrior 2. And David here, our untrained principal, will try to demonstrate this pose. So the pose should rather look something like this. The competencies for this domain include teamwork, leading through delegation and directing, and building relationships with the in-school community, so that includes HODs, the SGBs, and teachers in the school, as well as building relationships with what Dr. Witten this morning, I'm not sure if he's still here, but he called it the education public. And with these skills, a principal should be able to build strong, long-lasting relationships with internal and external stakeholders. The third domain is balancing school systems and operations. We will demonstrate this by using the yoga pose, balancing stick pose, or the Warrior 3. So the pose should rather look something like this. The competencies for this domain include operational planning, organizing, prioritizing, and judgment. And with these skills, a principal will be able to ensure accountability and productivity in his school. And finally, the fourth domain. And this is about professional and pedagogical leadership. look something like this.
It's called old men abuse.
The competencies for this domain include professional and pedagogical leadership, curriculum development, and with these skills, a principal should be able to support teaching processes in his school so that they ensure that there's learning on a daily basis. So we think that we are ahead as Bridge because what we've done with this research is that we've developed a school leadership framework. And this framework should ensure that we can train all 27,000 odd principals in our country with the partnership of other organizations, because we know that we can't do it alone. But secondly, we've also developed a certificate program with the Wits School of Governance, and it's pitched at level 8 of the NQF. So this is for principals to start earning continuous professional development points. And the course is rooted in reflective learning, as we've seen in our communities of practice that we have in the Equity region, and I spoke about this morning. So the approach is not theoretical, but it's about action. And it starts with establishing what the principals currently know, as well as what they think they can do individually and what they can achieve collectively. And thirdly, we've been running 5 communities of practice in the Equity region, and those are supported by Advocate Alison Bengston there at the back with her team. And in these principals communities of practice, we find that principals come into the space and they find it a good space for sharing because it's a safe environment. It also creates common purpose and peer support, and they can work together towards resolving some of their challenges. So lastly, we think that we've perfected our experience in knowledge management. So this is one of the 2 things that Bridge does, knowledge management. And we've done this in many different ways, but more recently we've partnered with the Leadership Platform, which is a radio show on Cliff Central, Gareth Cliff's radio station, and it's an online radio station. So what we've done is we've invited the principals that we've worked with into the radio station, as well as some experts, and Daya Chetty has been on the radio station to talk about some of their experiences in leadership and to share their expertise with us. And the podcasts for this show are disseminated widely. But what we'd like to start seeing is that principals can start engaging with this material so that they can start learning CPD points for informal training. So those are the 4 things that we've achieved. And this framework for school leadership is part of our massive transformative purpose, our MTP as an organization, for connected education. Every leader, every teacher, every learner. Thank you.